Hey besties, welcome or welcome back.
Today, we are going to be making some Pinterest-inspired Dollar Tree foam core board DIYs. Let's get started. To make this beautiful welcome sign, we're going to take a piece of the foam core board and this round wooden sign from the Dollar Tree, which I'm just going to use to get my circle shape. And I'll cut that out with my rotary cutter. I'm going to put a piece of tape, not quite in the middle, because I want to section it off, and I'm going to use my Waverly Ocean colored paint. It's a beautiful blue. And I'm going to paint down away from the tape and then just paint the rest of that whole bottom piece. Took about 2 coats. And the best part, taking the tape off. Look at that. Who doesn't love that? Now I've got this removable wallpaper from Amazon, and there's a link to my Amazon store down in the description box where you'll find most of my favorite things that I get there, in case you need them too. And I'm just going to pull the backing off a little bit on one end, fold it under, and then take the sticky part and line it up, and then slowly pull underneath to remove the backing. And then I'll get my brayer and I'll start smoothing it out. And that way there won't be any bubbles or wrinkles. And this really makes it nice and easy. You just do a little bit at a time. I saw this beautiful welcome sign on Pinterest, and I thought I could do something very similar by using the foam core board. Now there's excess going around on purpose, and I'm just going to cut little snips and then fold them over the back, because that's the best way to do it without getting weird little points. And then I have this coastal twine from the Dollar Tree. It's like white and twine colored. And I just wrapped it around several times where the blue meets the wallpaper and up at the top. And I've got this metal welcome sign from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to put my Aleene's tacky glue on the back. And then I'm going to set that over the blue portion. And I love the way that just pops. I am going to wipe off all that excess glue. It does dry clear, but I don't want it to dull the shine on the welcome sign. And then I've got some beautiful florals from the Dollar Tree, and I just took some blue ones and yellow ones and the leaves that go with them, and I cut off the little ends and I hot glued them together and then positioned them just the way I want. You could do this any way that you want, whatever you like.
But smile, do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we...
You could get several signs out of one piece of the foam core board, so you actually can beat the Dollar Tree price by making, let's say, 3 signs out of one. So that's only $1.25 instead of buying 3 wooden rounds. So that's a great way to save money and get more out of it.
Favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along, and I can't help but feeling.
And when I wrapped that twine around, I left a little bit in the back to make a hanger, and that's it. I hope you guys like this one. Let me know.
Just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause
For this foam core board DIY, I'm going to make a perpetual calendar. I'm going to use that round wood sign from Dollar Tree and cut out a circle with it using my rotary cutter. And then I'm going to take this little love sign from the Dollar Tree and cut out another one. I need 3 circles, and they need to be gradually smaller, so I'll cut that out with my little cutter. And then I used a paint can to make the smallest one. So you end up with 3 circles total. And then you need a rectangle, and you just measure that so that it hangs over both sides and it's wide enough to cover all 3 of the circles. And I'm just going to cut this little foam brush stick. I saved them. It's nice because they have a hole in them, so you can use that. And then I'm going to take some craft paper. I'm going to trace the circles on all 3. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fold it in half and then open it and fold it in half the other way. And that's how you find the center. And you just put a little hole in it, and now you've got the center. And I need that because I've got to make a hole in each of those round foam boards. And I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife to do that. And then I'm going to take the rectangle and just do a crisscross, find the center, and make another hole in that. Because all of these pieces are going to be held together by that circle in the middle of them, where I'm going to put that little wood stick that I cut. So I've got this tile from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut it into a couple pieces. Hey, if you haven't seen me on social media, come on over. I'd love to see you there.
I watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile.
That's going to give it kind of that brassy, worn look that I'm going for. I layered it.
Can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my
And then I'm going to make the center hole again and make sure that they can all go through that little stick.
favorite song on. I put my
Now I've got this removable wallpaper from Amazon, and I'm just going to cut a piece that's big enough for all of the circles, but I'm actually going to cut it out a little bigger than the circle I'm tracing because I want it to hang over the edges. And I'm just going to fold back the backing a little bit and start on one side, rub it down, use my brayer, and slowly pull out the backing, and I'll do the same thing for all 3 of the circles.
feet up, and we just sing along, and I can't help but feel it.
Then I'll cut little snips around and fold them over to seal the ends.
I watch you as you sleep. You don't know I'm looking. With you, everything's complete.
And again, I'll do that to all 3 circles. And there are circles all done. Now I'm going to hot glue the edges of that metallic tile, and then that way you won't see those edges. I'm going to use my box cutter, and I'm going to cut a little hole in the center and then make a crisscross and then fold them over the back, and that way you will not see the edges.
Do you know how much I love you? I put your favorite song on just to wait.
I'm going to take craft paper, I'm going to put it on the back of the rectangle, and remember those circles I cut out to find out the center? Well, I'll just use those and put them on the back of the circles.
You up when I dance around. I can't.
I used my Cricut and I cut out the days of the week with 3-letter abbreviations, and then I also cut out the months of the year in 3-letter abbreviations and numbers 1 through 31. I did that off camera. If you don't have a Cricut, you can use stickers, or if you have nice writing, you could just write it. So I put the numbers on the large one, the months on the medium one, and the days of the week on the small one. Now, upside down, I'm going to take my rectangular piece and try to figure out where I need to create little windows for each of those things to show through. So with the Perpetual Calendar, you just spin it around and it will show you which date, day, and month.
When I dance around, I can't help but feeling.
And then I'm going to go in the back and cut out those little squares, and I'm going to remove the foam. So all I have left is that piece of adhesive tile, and then I will hot glue it down, and that will create my little windows for the Perpetual Calendar. So here you can see I'm double checking the first one to make sure it looks right before I do the other ones. And now I've done all 3. And then I've got this really pretty kind of antique looking knob, and it came with a screw inside of it, and I just attached it. I'm going to paint the wood part with my rose gold that kind of goes with everything. And then I'm going to attach that knob directly to the rectangle so it doesn't spin. Then I've got this other like scrap piece I had left over from something. I just kind of made it work. Put tons of hot glue in there, turn it upside down, and put it over the piece of wood in the back. And that way they can't fall off the back. I do wish I'd made that stick a little shorter though. Put a hanger on the back, but it really isn't the best choice. That looks much better as a sitter. I think it actually ended up coming out really cute. Let me know what you think.
Just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would?
For this Pinterest-inspired foam core board DIY, I'm going to cut a 11 by 11 piece of the foam core board. And then looking at that picture that I just showed you from Pinterest, I'm going to hand draw kind of a rough flower. I mean, it is not fancy, and I'm definitely not an artist. I literally think anybody could do this. I'm just making petals around petals around petals, you'll see here. And I'm drawing it with the pencil. That way I have something to go on once I start using paint and so forth.
Do you know I'm looking?
We're going to do 2 really cool techniques during this DIY. The first one, we are going to take the Elephant Chalk Paint by Waverly and paint all around the flower. You want to have a dark color underneath because that's what's going to peek through. We're going to do a crackle effect. Then we're going to use some Mod Podge. You could also use glue. I'm just going to put a coat over the gray paint. And I'm going to put a generous coat.
And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on.
Then I'm going to take my heat tool from Amazon and I'm going to dry it just till the very top is sort of dry to the touch, but not the whole thing. And then I'm going to use the color that I want on top, which I'm going to use white, and then get my heat tool again. And as you heat it up, the glue starts to shrink, or the Mod Podge shrinks, and it creates the crackle effect. Keep your eye on the area that I'm using the heat tool on, and you'll start to see the crackle happen. It's so cool. So I'm going to do that everywhere that I put the Mod Podge and the paint, and I'm loving that look. Then I'm going to take some caulk that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to outline the petals of the flower.
I put my feet up and we just sing along.
There you go. And it doesn't matter how bumpy it is. You want it like very textured and lumpy. I'm going to use the Ballet Slipper chalk paint by Waverly and mix it with water. And I'm just going to go very lightly over where I had already put the white off camera, and then kind of blend it with my fingers. And then I'm going to add a little bit of like a red color to the center just to give it a little dimension. I'm going to make a stem with a little bit of brown. And then I'm going to cut 2 rectangles that are the same 11 inches wide, or long, I should say. I'm going to paint them first with the white and then with the burnt umber, all in a downward direction to give it the wood grain. Now, I thought that's what I was going to want. I went ahead and I glued one to the top and one to the bottom, but I didn't like it. So I get out my elephant chalk paint and I do those top pieces. And I think it just needed something a little darker so that the flower would stand out more. And I really think that's much, much better. I'm going to put a little piece of twine on the back with hot glue before I put my craft paper to finish the back. And then I'll cut a little line to pull back that hanger. And I'm going to add 2 skewers that I have. I'm going to paint them elephant on the edges, put Mod Podge over the whole thing. I added a piece of twine over the stem, and now I'm going to wrap, I don't know, like 10-20 times around my finger, a teeny little, like kind of a pom-pom, tie the center, cut the other end of the loops, and hot glue it right to the center of the flower to give it more texture. I think that just really made all the difference. So let me know what you think. This one was very different for me, but it was really fun to experiment with it. Would you ever try something like this? Let me know down in the comments.
Just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause
Thank you so much for watching. You'll have to let me know which one was your favorite. And by the way, I want to make sure you know that you are truly a blessing to me. If you want to hang out some more and watch another video of mine, I've got one on the screen and I think you'll really like it. So if you click on it, I will see you there. Bye.
I've been hiding the world safely in my head.